Hey everyone, this is smpratte, and today we're going to continue going through some of Gary's inventory over here and look at some of these uncut sheets. There's actually a few in here people have probably never seen before. I'm going to show you one at the end that is not only going to be new for a lot of collectors, but it really details the process of how Pokemon cards are printed. In fact, when I saw the sheet, there were a couple surprises for myself as well. So stick around towards the end. We're going to focus on that one the most, but this one in front of us that we're going to start with is a French first edition base set rare sheet. As you can tell, all the cards are rare and first edition. You can see that first edition stamp there at the bottom. And then here on the side, as usual, for Beedrill. And you also notice the names are in French. Last is Filette. It's a nice little name. We got Brad Marchand over here. Had a little nose job done. Just a couple interesting cards, interesting layout. I don't know if there's any connection between the Beedrill placement and the French setup versus the English. I think most people know first edition base Beedrill is a pain to grade for some reason. You know, comparing that with something like Pidgeotto, there's a noticeable difference between the gradability of Pidgeotto and Beedrill. No rhyme or reason for sure why that is, but sometimes it's because of sheet placement. So this is the sheet placement for first edition French base rares. We'll zoom out again. And as you can see, it has those magenta, black, blue, the color palettes that you're always going to see. Those are always present on every sheet. And let's just go ahead and turn this over too so we can see the back. That is something that'll be interesting later on. And you can see those nice alignment dots, those white dots there. Let's get a close-up on that. Those are those alignment dots. So those miscut collectors, whenever you see one of those, that's the sign of a genuine miscut when you have those alignment dots on your miscut card. I'll just zoom out to see how, look at that Pokemon back. Really like how English has kept this back going since the beginning. I think it's such an iconic back for the Pokemon cards. But there you go. That is the first edition French base set rare. And then we're going to move into, this one's going to be the Jungle Uncommons. And again, the placement, unfortunately this one isn't first edition. It would be nice to see the Butterfree and how that looks. You know, that first edition D edition Air. It'd be nice to see how many of those are actually on a sheet. It'd be cool if someone had that sheet with the air included. That'd be a really nice piece. But nonetheless, these are unlimited. We can just go through and look at the alignment for these cards. All about Himeno in the jungle set. Look at this Persian. This is exactly, that's that Himeno art right there. Nice colorful backgrounds. Look at that Executor. This is when you really start to see the backgrounds flesh out after that Sears portrait shoot that was base set. Also, you'll see those little alignment dots a little bit. I don't know if you can catch it there. Kind of see here on Gloom. See those little black dots? Again, for those miscut collectors, that's going to be where that should cut. That's where the card should be cut. That's the alignment right there. And then also I'll show you the side guide as well. Side guide as well. And again, you're going to have those colorations along the side. And I'll go to the back, so we can take a look at that too. Oh yeah, this one, sorry. This was a 2-for-1. There's actually multiple sheets in the same top loader. There's like 3 or 4 in there. So you get a little bonus fossil set as well. I believe this is all uncommons. This one right here, let's look how Mr. Fuji just pops out. Look at this card. Let's just get right in on that art. Every time I see this card, I always have to pause on it. It's just such quality artwork. So yeah, this is the uncommon sheet. It's nice to see that alignment. So you have that Fuji right there. Then here, then you have one in the middle. Again, this is something you could study. I'm sure if you had a larger sample size, you could really understand not only the quantity out there, get a good idea, but also how these cards were cut and then condition factors. I know for uncommon cards, it's probably negligible, but that's probably something that would be useful for, you know, the hollows or more valuable cards. All right, let's keep it moving. We have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Uncut sheets as well. You could really see the 4 colors there at the top. They even have some in the middle. This is interesting. I don't know if that's, you know, just because of the set release. Like, I don't know if they just wanted to keep a certain amount on a sheet, but nonetheless, you have those blocks there. You have some at the bottom too. Maybe they cut it a little differently. I'm not sure. But it would be cool if you could get one of these as a card or a little bit miscut. Gary actually had some of those for sports. He had a Tiger Woods where you had about half, like that blue and magenta included with the Tiger Woods card. But I'll just give you a little close-up on these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Keep in mind, I have no idea what's going on with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, reading these titles is pretty much my first experience with these cards. So if anyone knows anything about Yu-Gi-Oh!, feel free to comment because I'm completely in the dark when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And we can turn this over and show you the back as well. I noticed there's not as many cards on the Yu-Gi-Oh! One, too. The cards that look a little bit more spaced out. Again, with this, I don't know why this coloration is here. You can see how it would just be a nice, smooth sheet without that. But maybe, you know, it helps the cutting process. But yeah, you can see all these have the standard back. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see the alignment. See like that crosshair right there in the corner. And keep in mind, Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes out straight, unlike Pokemon. Pokemon has those curved edges, so this will be cut a little bit differently. And then we have another Yu-Gi-Oh! One. I believe this is going to be the last for Yu-Gi-Oh! This one's still in its plastic. But just do a quick glance because we're going to get to the main event pretty soon here. So the sheet I really wanted to show you, this could probably be its own video, is this Mewtwo Regigigas over here, full art. This is not only a very rare sheet, it has a lot of very interesting components. First of all, it's nice to see all these full arts together, especially for a Mewtwo collector myself. As you can see at the bottom, it states this is from the Pokemon Company. Just try to give you a shot of the information here. Also, I don't know if I could catch this in the light. There's kind of a circular cutout. You see that right there? It's almost like this one big massive card. So just interesting to see where the cut is. So one aspect that really surprised me with this sheet, so let's try to tilt this in the light so you can catch it. There's no texture. So the texture has not been applied yet. So this might be something like a art proof or, you know, just a concept in that you don't have the full fleshed out card. Obviously, you don't have the attacks, the HP, or none of that's present. It'd actually be nice to have a card like this. If this were an air card in a deck, it'd be pretty cool just to see the Pokemon straight up with no text. But there is no texture. I don't know if you could see that. Let me try to bend it a little bit. There are no texture on the full arts, which is something you would have to see on the full arts when they're releasing a pack, but it is not present. And then perhaps the most interesting or controversial aspect is the back. There is none. It is all white. It is very confusing. There are no backs to this. So it's weird to say what this is, what it means, you know, what their printing process looks like. Again, was this some type of test? Was this just to orient the art? Try to zoom in here. Just a little bit of ink rubbed off on the back, but very odd that there is no back to this sheet. I'll try to give you a different view so you can see everything without the fan glare there in the background. So this is an odd situation. The second I saw this, when Gary showed me this, I just took a second. I was like, I've never seen any sheet without a back. You know, looking at that French first edition, they all have backs. So I'm going to try to pull this out a little bit so we can, I know you can't feel the actual texture, but it is a little bit, it feels like decently thick. You know, it's not too thin, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. There is no back here, so they have to add that back still. So I don't know how that layer works. This is a huge surprise for me because majority of the WOTC sheets are all together in one, and then they get thrown into cut. And these also, again, have those, you know, the colors you're always going to see for any sheet when it's being printed. The standard yellow, blue, magenta, and black. So this is essentially just a mystery. It's an anomaly. It's something that is definitely official Nintendo, but maybe it's just the first round. Maybe it's some type of prototype. You know, maybe, again, it's just to show the artwork. Or maybe it's just the first step of the printing process, or all of the above. So I thought that was a pretty interesting piece to show you. Try to zoom out so you can see it all. Actually, of course, Gary has a spare one within his spare collection. So yeah, there you go. That is the Mewtwo Regigigas full art Nintendo Pokemon Uncut sheet with the white blank back. Very interesting item. Just brings up a lot of questions that I don't have answers to, and hopefully, you know, someone out there has some type of answers to. But that's pretty much it, guys. As usual, let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll try to make a couple other videos showcasing Gary's inventory. And yeah, that's it. Till next time.